I want to share a case I came across during my research that I found interesting. So, a Dallas man by the name of Sharon Sylvester Brown got in an argument with his girlfriend, Sherry Whitaker. She apparently made him angry, resulting in him punching her in the head, followed by picking her up and throwing her outside of the hotel room onto the concrete. When police arrived, they bandaged her head and she refused to go to the hospital for more treatment. Brown was arrested on a Class A misdemeanor assault charge and took him to the county jail. 6 hours after the assault, Whitaker called 911 and was transported to the hospital, where she passed away by an unexplained death. While this is going on, prosecutors had tried to reach Whitaker and received no answer, assuming she didn't want to cooperate as a complaining witness. Prosecutors moved forward with the case that took a total of 14 days start to finish with Brown, and Brown pled guilty to the misdemeanor and was sentenced to 60 days in jail. When police were made aware that Whitaker's death was a homicide due to complications from her injury from the argument, and she also had cancer, and she was fragile and frail, her medical condition ultimately worsened from the aggravated assault. Police then arrested Brown for suspicion of murder, but prosecutors soon realized that they couldn't charge Brown with murder since he pled guilty to the initial charge before prosecutors were even aware of Whitaker's death. Brown served his time for the plea. So, let's look at this case from both sides of the situation. The prosecutors and Sharon Sylvester Brown. So the prosecutors are wanting to serve justice where justice needs to be served. So isn't there a way to charge him since he ultimately was the reason for Whitaker's death? No. There was no federal statute Brown could be prosecuted under. He would have had to commit the crime on federal property or use a gun to commit the murder. And it's odd because a healthy individual likely wouldn't die from being tossed on the ground, but due to her illness, she couldn't survive the damages that were done during the assault. So this has to be frustrating for the prosecutors because there is nothing that can be done now for Brown. He got the better end of the stick. Had the prosecutors been made aware sooner of the death, Brown would have probably spent the rest of his life in jail. I'm sure Brown had no intentions of murdering Whitaker and did not want to spend the rest of his life in prison because he got in a fight with his girlfriend and accidentally killed her. Brown goes out with the win, and I must say that it's fair how this one turned out. No, it's not fair that Whitaker lost her life, but Brown served his time for the original charge of a Class A misdemeanor from an aggravated assault. It would have been unfair to revisit this case and with the new evidence when Brown pled guilty and served his time for the actual crime that he committed. So given ordinary circumstances, that this had just been an aggravated assault, by him throwing an individual out on the sidewalk will not cause them, likely to pass away.